In fifth dimensional creation, you are not going anywhere to get anything. You are actually collapsing space and time, and you are drawing the experience to you. You are the vortex, because when there's a vibrational match...
Welcome to another video. I'm Alana. Today I will be sharing the true story of the time that I didn't realize I was in a cult because I was the maddest one there. First, I just want to say this. I know that I can tend to be a bit in my spiritual ego sometimes, and that it can come across like I think I'm better than everyone else just because I don't watch television and I don't drink alcohol and I do yoga. But the only reason why I do that is because for so long I felt like I was so much worse than everyone else. For so long I felt like my beauty was the only worthwhile thing about me. Yeah, the only reason I do that is because for so long I felt like I was so much worse than everyone else. So if it sometimes comes across like I think I'm better than everyone else, that's why I'm still learning and growing, and thank you for loving me anyway. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? Kundalini Yoga Cult is a cult based around the practice of Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is a yoga practice comprised of breathwork, chanting, and yoga postures, designed to upgrade your consciousness and raise your awareness.
Fifth dimensional creation has nothing to do with going anywhere to get anything. Because if you combine a clear intention, a coherent thought, coherent brainwave pattern, with a coherent heart, thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. The intention is carried on that energy. And now you are broadcasting a new signature into the quantum field.
So I did the first week of this course back in February. On the first night, I prayed to God and I said, God, please guide me through this Kundalini Yoga course. And God said, your suffering is over now. And then I had the best week of my life, like one of the best weeks of my life. Why do I call it a cult? Because it was really hard to leave. I think that would be the defining factor of whether something is a cult or not. It was really hard to leave. But the first week of it, back in February, I was having so much fun I didn't even notice I was in a cult. The first week in this cult was one of the greatest weeks of my life. Let me paint you a picture of the first week in this cult. So why do I say I was the maddest one there? Because we had to get up at 5:30 a.m. every morning. But I got up at 4:30 a.m. to do my own personal sadhana before we started. And in the lunch breaks, I was doing my affirmations like my I am pure light, I am pure light, I am pure light, I am a mountain. And I was also filling in the lunch breaks with extra Kundalini so that every waking moment was filled with Kundalini. I was chanting the loudest. I was diligently taking notes. I was like, I'm going to be the best member of this cult. Like I am going to win at this cult because I'm very competitive. And I was the most enthusiastic member of that cult for the first week, and I didn't complain once. I was chanting the loudest, like I was doing all of the things, and I just fit in there. Like I fit in there, you know, because I say things sometimes that are very, I say things sometimes that can be jarring. In this cult, I just fit in, like I just fit in. Like I was like, I am a beam of light, and someone else was like, so am I. On the third day, we had to have a conversation with our shadow. And my shadow said, the parts of yourself that you disown will come back to haunt you. Luckily, I was in a place where I was basically ready to confront my shadow. I'd done a lot of inner work, and so I felt like I was at a place where I was ready to hear that. So the first week, I definitely didn't notice I was in a cult because I was the maddest one there. So, but they accepted me, like they accepted me for who I am. We had a sharing circle every day. And it was so beautiful. We would just kind of sit in this circle, and you would look around the circle and be like, I don't know what brought you to this cult, but for whatever reason, God in the universe put us in this cult at the same time. So like, what are we doing here? Does Kundalini work, or is it all just made up? It does work. Of course it works. I am living proof that it works. The only question is, how does it work? So Kundalini Yoga basically works by teaching you to control your own breath. Because if you can control your breath, you can control your world. It works by teaching you to control your own breath. Also works because of something called the expectation effect. The expectation effect refers to a phenomenon in psychology where what you believe is true becomes true. For example, say if I give you 2 milkshakes and I say, one of the milkshakes is a really decadent, indulgent shake, and the other one I call a slim shake. You will consume more calories from the same shake, regardless of which one you get, if you are primed by being told that it's a decadent, indulgent shake. And you will consume less calories from the same shake if you're primed by being told that it is a slim shake, regardless of which shake you actually get. This is called the expectation effect. How does this apply to Kundalini Yoga? Well, it works because you believe it works. It works because I believe it works. And I feel like it works for me so well, in particular, because I believe in Kundalini Yoga, but I also believe in God. I feel like faith might be a bit like money, in that if you have a lot of money, it's easy to get more money. But if you have no money, it's really hard to get any money. I feel like that might be a similar case with faith. And if nothing else, I have a really unshakable faith in God. You know, like if you have no faith at all, if you have no faith in anything, then it's really hard to get any faith. But if you have a really solid faith in something greater than you, then it's easier to believe that anything is possible and then anything becomes possible. In short, Kundalini Yoga works because of how your beliefs shape your reality. So if you can control your breath, if you can control your mind, you can control your reality. If you believe that Kundalini Yoga works like real magic, it will work like real magic for you. When did you realize it was a cult? Everyone wears white. It was really hard to leave. And one day, we all laid on the floor listening to this recording that just said, excel, excel, excel. And I feel like that day, I had an inkling it might be a cult. But then they started creating new modules that we had to pay again for. I was told originally, there are 3 modules, you complete the 3 modules, and then you're a Kundalini Yoga teacher. And then I was told that at the completion of Kundalini Yoga teacher training, you don't actually become a Kundalini Yoga teacher. And I said, why would that be the case if it's called Kundalini Yoga teacher training? So, Kundalini Yoga works because of the expectation effect and because it helps you control your breath and your mind. Then when I went back in April, on the night I arrived, I saw that there was black mold in the room I was supposed to be staying in. And that's when I decided I need to get out of here. I've been in the cult long enough. It's time to leave. And may I say, it was really, really hard to leave. It was really hard to leave. Like, when I realized it was a cult, I just started praying madly to God to get me out of this cult now. And practically, it was really hard to leave. And may I remind you that a cult is never a cult in theory, only ever in practice. So how hard to leave? Well, this cult exists in this black warp hole, portal of darkness, somewhere in Byron Bay. And when you maps on your phone, when you maps like an 8-minute drive away is a 3.5-hour walk away. The same distance is an 8-minute drive and a 3.5-hour walk. And it was impossible to get an Uber for miles. First, God sent an Uber driver named John. And John took me from the cult to a nearby cafe where I started trying to call another Uber to take me to the airport. And I sat in this cafe trying to get an Uber for 3 hours. So then I just started walking. I just started walking along the side of the road with my 2 huge bags. And then God sent an Indian bus driver and he said, do you need help? I was like, yes, please. I don't know how to catch a bus. And he said, I'm going to Byron Bay. I can take you there if you want. It's $4.50. And so I gave this man the only money I had on me, $5 note, and he took me to Byron Bay because I thought that maybe it would be easier to order an Uber from there, more populated area. From there, I started trying to order an Uber again to get to the airport. And then God sent a white boy named Connor to help me navigate my way home from Byron Bay. And Connor helped me catch a bus to the airport. And then God sent a woman bus driver. God sent a woman bus driver named Linda. And Linda did not want me on her bus. She did not need me on her bus. She obviously ran this bus with pride. And I respected that. But it was also the last bus leaving Byron Bay to the airport. Like, it was the last bus. And I had no other options. And I was stranded and I had no money. And I was waiting for money to go through. And I was just sitting there like praying madly with my bag. Just like, please don't leave. Please don't leave yet. And Linda waited 20 minutes. And then I still didn't have any money. And she let me on this bus without any money. Like, she loaded up my bag and she let me on this bus without paying. And Linda took me on her bus and she drove me all the way to the airport without even paying. And then I paid at the end. She saved me that day. Like, these 3 angels saved me that day. 3 or 4? 4 angels. These 4 angels saved me that day. And then when I finally got to the airport, I got distracted. And God saw me sitting across the airport from where my flight was about to leave, exchanging voice notes with Jade. And he saw that I was going to miss my plane. And so then, on this fateful day, God held up a plane. He sent 4 angels and he held up a plane to get me home from this cult. Eventually, I got on that plane and I got home from that cult. So, if you're thinking, Alana, justify these claims that it's a cult. If it's not a cult, why do I have to trek through the wilderness if I want to leave? So that's the story of the time I didn't realize I was in a cult because I was the maddest one there, and how God saved me. Finally, I want to finish by talking a bit about my faith, because faith is what carries you through when everything is going wrong. Like when you find out that the yoga course that you've been doing is a cult, or when you meet someone you really like and everything seems perfect and then it doesn't work out. Faith is what carries you through the disappointment, the heartbreak, the grief that is inherent to life. And maybe you are faithless. Maybe you've lost your faith. Maybe you never had faith in God in the first place. But I don't know how anyone does anything without faith. Like, I don't know how people survive without God. You're in control, Alana. You're in control, Alana. Faith in God allows you to accept whatever happens as God's plan for you. If you have faith alone, you have everything. If you're new to my channel, welcome. God bless you. You're beautiful, you're perfect, and I love you. And I just want to finish by saying that I still love Kundalini Yoga, and I will continue to practice it probably every day for the rest of my life. Why would I stop doing it just because it's a cult? I love Kundalini Yoga particularly because of its intensity. I'm a fairly intense person, so I really enjoy that. I also love it because of how it allows me to tiptoe the tightrope walk between madness and sanity as gracefully as I do. I'm going to keep doing Kundalini Yoga. Most of the Kundalini Yoga I've done for free on YouTube, because yoga belongs to everyone. If you want to try Kundalini Yoga, you can do it for free on YouTube. I personally believe that everything you need in this life will not cost any money. I believe that everything you need, the Lord will provide. Why do I say I am pure light? I say I am pure light to remind myself that I have a duty to bring light to any situation I find myself in. Why do I say I am a mountain? I say that to remind myself that I am strong, I am solid, and I am stable. You're in control, Alana. You're in control, Alana. If you like this video, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I am pure light. I am a mountain. So finally, I'm going to end by saying that Kundalini Yoga works because words have power. And if you don't believe that words have power, then try telling that to someone who grew up in a house where there was yelling. People who say that affirmations don't work sound almost as crazy as people who say ghosts aren't real. I don't know what to say to those people. Ye of little faith, why are you so afraid?